Country Manufacturing, and of course answering any of your questions that you might have with detailing. If someone is watching, if you could give me an indication as to whether or not the volume is good, the sound is good, and you can see me and all that fun stuff. So, apparently I have a very poor connection here. I'm in Ticonderoga, New York, which is on the shores of Lake Champlain. I'm in the... after 14 days, we're almost back to Quebec. Tomorrow we'll be crossing the border and making it home. After that, we have a 14-day self-confinement. Daniel, if you could give me a thumbs up or something, just let me know if the sound is working. And if it isn't, give me a thumbs down. So other than that, on our way, and should be home in a couple of days, but or should be home tomorrow, sorry. And then after that, we have a 14-day self-confinement to, oh, thank you for the thumbs up. Great. Great, Sean. So, and we have Marcin all the way, and at 2 o'clock in the morning from Poland watching. Okay, very good. So, since it's pretty much that time, let me just turn my clock on here. That way I know what time it is and I don't go too past. Oh, we still have 5 minutes before the actual time. Like I mentioned before, I like to start early just to make sure that we have all the technicalities taken care of and making sure that you know, people can get connected and stuff. So that being said, tonight, as there we go. We'll turn that off, and that way the radio won't come back on again. Sorry about that. Little technical difficulties, but we'll get there. So as of next week, I should be comfortably sitting in my office doing these instead of in the bus. Some people call this my office, but I do have a home as well. So, but we are in the bus, moving around, traveling around, enjoying life, as it were. So, backing plates, they're used on every tool. The ones that Lake Country sells are mostly for the for rotary tools, except for one. So we do have one that is designed for the D and one pad, but various sizes, obviously. 3, 3.5, 4, 5, and 6. Let me reach over here. I've got a few things spread around the bus where I can reach them. So a lot of accessories go with polishing. You know, we have pads, etc. There's also extensions. So this is a nice little kit that Lake Country sells. It has a 3-inch and 6-inch extension, giving you a possibility of a 9-inch extension if you want. You can use them separately or together. And it allows you, when using a rotary and a smaller backing plate, so you can use a 3-inch backing plate with a 3-inch pad, or we even have a 2-inch backing plate. It allows you to get into tighter areas. So areas that you couldn't normally get in. We'll take an example, a new Ford GT40. There are areas in there that they're very difficult to get at. So this allows you to squeeze in there, get in there, and be able to polish there. The most popular backing plate are yellow urethane backing plates. They come in various sizes. I've got 2 sizes here, and I've got another larger one up here. So there we go. So that's just some of the sizes. These are the sizes that I carry with me, and then other sizes depending on what people want to use. These are the heavy duty backing plates. They are a little stiffer, super long lasting. You'll get years of use out of it. They're not necessarily a wear item, we'll put it that way. The hard plastic backing is molded into, yeah, it is an amazing way of polishing in small areas. The hard backing is attached solidly or molded in with this urethane, and the urethane is molded over that hard plastic backing plate. That way you don't have the chance of scrubbing or rubbing with that hard backing plate. It's not going to cut through, but it still maintains a nice flexibility to it. So let me move my finger. There we go. So it maintains a slight flexibility. If you need something that is more flexible, we have a softer urethane backing plate, and that's these white ones. So you'll notice much thicker and softer as well. So it's very, very easy to bend the edges of this down. So it conforms to a panel a lot better. These are also super well balanced. You'll find some cheaper backing plates out there, and generally speaking, they'll give you a lot of vibration because they're unbalanced. These are very well balanced, and you'll see the inserts, they're well attached to the backing plate. It's not just a round piece in there. There are pull it in. So a backing plate is an important accessory to your use, whether it be a rotary or a DA. Now, Lake Country, always innovators. We have the Udos coming out soon, but the Udos has a very special backing plate to it. And a lot of technology has gone into the backing plate of the Udos 51E. Just happen to have one here. So here we have the Udos 51E. And the first thing you'll notice is these ducts. So they're NACA ducts, and they actually create positive pressure within this backing plate. So they are tied internally in this backing plate to these holes. Now, if you go on lcpowertools.com, you'll get a better or a visual explanation of how this backing plate is constructed and made internally. And it has patents, so don't try copying it. But nonetheless, this backing plate, as you can see, these NACA ducts actually force air into the backing plate and out through here into the pad, cooling the pad, keeping the pad cool. Again, super balanced, and it's a multiple component backing plate. So a very interesting technology change or innovation that, you know, compared to, we've all seen years, we've all used them. They work wonderfully well. There's a bit of technology in this, but not even close to what's in the Udos 51E. And by the way, at any point, if anybody has any questions, please feel free to ask them. That's why I'm here, is to help answer your questions, whether it be on our subject of the evening, which is backing plates, or any other detail. I'm happy to help. While I have the Udos 51E in my hand, it is coming. As a lot of you know, it is manufactured in the USA from globally sourced parts. So the globally sourced parts of it with the coronavirus is slowing down the availability of some items in the production. And sorry, I have very poor connection. I'm in Ticonderoga, New York, by Lake Champlain. Beautiful scenery, but not very good in terms of internet connection. So if we look at this, right now it's on the P3 setting, which means 21 millimeters. And if we look at the offset that we have on the pad, let me spin it around here. So you see the amount of offset we have on the pad. Now, there's alignment marks. These alignment marks, so P3, and you see this alignment mark on the blue ring. I can switch this down and then around to P2. Now, polishing 2 or P2 is a 15 millimeter stroke. So if you're used to using a 15 millimeter machine, we have that. The price will be $7.99 US, or $6.99 US, I believe. Actually, someone please correct me. I just got a blank memory, Corey. So it's either $6.99 or $7.99, but pretty sure it's $6.99. If we go to P1, oh, sorry, that's P3. I'm backwards here. So if we go to P1, that's a 12 millimeter stroke. Around $6.99, thank you. And then we can go to S, which is technically for sanding, but it's also an 8 millimeter stroke. So if you're using a Porter cable or something like that, that's a Porter cable. And then one of my favorites is we line up this other, and by the way, at this point, the backing plate is free spinning, like any good rotary or any good DA should be. And then we line up these points, and when they're all lined up, we can switch this to R. Now it's a rotary, and the backing plate is no longer free spinning. So everything works together. And if we switch this back to a DA, and the alignment has to be perfect, there we go. So we switch it back to a DA, and now we have free spinning again. When the machine is lock-on position, do we need to move the blue part? The blue part is simply, it's just an alignment. So you only need to move this blue part if it's out of alignment. So you align it with this, and then you're able to move the locking ring down and around to different positions. Right now, Zachary, we can't buy it anywhere, and it'll be end of second quarter, beginning of third quarter that these will actually be available. They're supposed to be out on the market by now, but because of coronavirus, and these are globally sourced parts, it is say, but there are parts from all over the world. Like many things, it's slowed down due to the virus. So unfortunately, that is one of the aspects. We'll get to it. You know, as soon as possible. Trust me, Lake Country will be releasing this tool. We've been waiting a long time for this. The other aspects of this, it's an extremely well balanced tool. So if we look at the balance of it, it's balancing on one finger. So an extremely well balanced tool. The weight of it, some people have, sorry, again, poor connection, but we're struggling through, thank you. So the 5 tools in one, it allows you to change your polishing methods without changing anything. Going from there, you're able to adjust the stroke to what you're actually doing and what the finish is you're wanting to achieve. Yes, actually, Corey, we do have pads for this machine. As you know, many pads are designed either for a rotary or for a DA. So with the Udos, new pads had to be designed. It's a completely different foam technology, different colors of foam even. So they're khaki, they're olive colored, and there's a wool pad as well. So those 3 pads are technological marvels when it comes to pads. They just look like a simple piece of foam, but they're not. And they will work equally as well in a DA mode or in the rotary mode. So even if you don't have an Udos, you can get the Udos pads, and they will be available. Now, for those that would like to try the Udos, once it's available, there actually is a try it before you buy it plan. It's $125. Lake Country will ship you the tool and a couple pads for you to try. You have 2 weeks. And at the end of the 2 weeks, if you're satisfied with the machine, they bill you another $579, making $103. If you don't like the machine, you send it back. It costs you $125. You get to keep the pads. There is no shipping cost involved, or for you, there's shipping costs involved for Lake Country, but the shipping is included in that price anywhere in the 48 lower states of the USA. And with that, you're able to try the machine, actually get your hands on it, and decide whether it's a good value for you. In terms of value, if you look at buying a rotary and maybe even 1 or 2 DAs, you're past the price point of this when you're buying a equivalent quality tool. Yeah. So if you go sign you up, definitely. Zachary, if you go on lcpowertools.com, you actually can sign up. There is an area there for to be on the list, to be advised as soon as this program is up and running and ready to go. So that is one of the advantages of it. The LC Power Tools website as well has a great amount of information about the tool. Excuse me, how it's designed, how it's built, a bit of background of it, and testimonials for those that have tried it. If you've been to MTE, if you've been to different trade shows like, SEMA, that's the trade show. So if you've been to MTE, if you've been to SEMA, if you've been to, in Europe, the big one, there's a really big show, Auto Mechanica. You've had a chance to get your hands on this, and a lot of people have had a chance to get their hands on it. It's a phenomenal tool. It's just fun to use. It's quiet. It's well engineered. It's solid. And when it's available, you'll see all the reviews that the first users or first adopters will try, and you'll be able to give this a try. So let me put that down for a second. Any other questions? We have a number of people watching, so whether it be detailing questions, whether it be about the backing plates. As I mentioned, we have a number of backing plates at Lake Country. We have the soft white urethane ones. They're super flexible. Now, this is a 6-inch one. They're available in different sizes. If you go to the Lake Country website, so lakecountrymfg.com, on the first page, you're able to go to the catalog, and it's page 50 of the catalog where you have the description and the sizes and the part numbers of all the backing plates. And many of our distributors do carry the backing plates and a good variety of them because depending on what you're doing, the size of the pad, the size of the backing plate varies tremendously. We're here earlier. This is a bit of a repeat, but we also have these wonderfully machined extensions. So it allows you to get into areas that you normally can't. And then you screw the other end onto your rotary. Now, there's a 3-inch and a 6-inch combined to make a 9-inch. Good math there. But if you want to, you can use either just the 3 or the 6. So giving you a bit of a height advantage. Getting, for spoilers, things like that you can get the pad in, but you can't get... let me see your comment here, Zachary. 1 second. No, the Udos backing plate actually moves air. So the Udos Aero backing plate has NACA ducts. Thank you. We got a link just to the backing plates, but also the catalog is there as well. The Udos backing plate will actually keep the pads cooler because it's forcing air into the pad through the pad. So your foam pads will last longer. The cooler your pads run, the longer they last. The cooler your polishing is, the easier it is for the tools, for the pads, and also for the polish or compound that you're using. So you want to keep that temperature down as much as possible. And that is one of the reasons why the Udos backing plate is designed the way it is to keep those pads as cool as possible. For those of you using a Porter cable or similar DA that has a 5/16 24 adapter, we do have backing plates for you. So the same quality, allergy season. So same quality as our other urethane backing plates, but designed. It is live, so we can't edit this out. It is designed with these rivets, so they're gonna stay on there quite nicely. It's extremely well balanced as well. Even comes with a little cap to protect the threads if you're not using this pad, and available in different sizes, so from 3 to 6 inch. So you're able to use different size pads on your 3-inch. Yes, no, it's not COVID, don't worry. We've been extremely responsible in our travels. We've traveled from Arizona, and now we're in New York State, heading to Quebec tomorrow. Thank you. We have everywhere we go, we've been wearing our mask. We have the the alcohol close by to wipe our hands. And just trying to find my mask here. Normally it's close to the driver's seat because as soon as we step out of the bus, we're wearing the mask. And it's been a very weird voyage, we'll put it that way. In some states, it's as if COVID almost doesn't exist. There's very, very, very few restrictions. In some states, whole cities were actually closed. So on the interstate, there's a state trooper there blocking people from exiting into that city. So it's a varied thing. The COVID virus is something that's taken the world dramatically by storm, we'll put it in tools. And combine it with one of these extensions, you can get into places. We're back. So you can get into places you never thought you'd be able to get into using these extensions, using the smaller pads. There are smaller backing plates and smaller pads. And again, these pads, the super flexible ones, these yellow urethane, they're a little stiffer, but they're still quite flexible. They still have a lot of movement to them. And the way they're designed, yeah, commuting, not many people on the highway. So it does, everything has a silver lining. That's one of the silver linings of COVID. So let me get this where the lighting's okay. So we can see that this hard plastic is there. Enjoy yourself as well, Corey. Yes, Al. Ooh, I'm very sorry for your loss. Getting back to the backing plates, that's actually the subject, not COVID-19, but it is, everybody's subject these days on there. It's on the forefront of everybody at the moment. So these hard plastic pieces are totally encapsulated by the soft urethane. So if you'll notice on the side here, I can press this in. Let's see, there we go. I can press this in and not contact that hard plastic. Oh, don't be sorry, Al. It's a subject that everybody is talking about. It's not a problem at all. So, but nonetheless, so we're back. Okay. Sorry about that. Again, I'm in a beautiful place in the Adirondacks in New York that cell phone coverage doesn't seem to be a priority here for them, which is great for them. So the 7-inch plate, 3-inch plate, same thickness. That allows you to get this plate into areas, again, that are sometimes more difficult to get into. Our white urethane plates are a lot thicker though. So if we look at the thickness difference of the two, there's a good 1/4 inch difference between this one and this one, or 19 millimeters, depending on where you are in the world. Other than that, do we have any questions, anyone? This is supposed to be question and answer. I've been answering. Let's have some questions. And they don't necessarily have to be about backing plates. Any detailing subject, I'm here to help if I can. If I know the answer, I'll share it. And for those of you that are speaking languages, I do speak French. So Simon, if you'd like to ask a question in French, I'll answer in the language that it's posed to me, as long as it's English or French. Some people, backing plates here, this hole serves two purposes. One, in a lot of our pads, there's a center hole, and that center hole is actually for cooling. That's the primary purpose of that hole. But we've made, there are thinner waffle pads than if you're using the Optimum waffle pads that are made by Lake Country. There are thinner waffle pads on the market. McKee's sells them, and there's a few other the Rat Company also sells a thinner waffle. It's not extremely thin, but it's maybe an 1/8 or 1/4 inch thinner than the Optimum ones. So this hole, primarily for cooling. Now, the other nice thing about this hole, if your pads do have a center, we sell a tool that allows you to align your pads perfectly. So you get a perfect alignment with your pads. With a DA, not really a big concern if you're not perfectly aligned. With a rotary, the better you can get the alignment, the better it is. Al, the difference between the thick backing plates is the softness of the foam. So if we look at, let me flip it over here. If we look at this one, and I can bend this edge down quite easily without any pressure. If we look at one of these yellow pads, I can still bend the edge down, but it has a lot more resilience to it. So it's a lot stiffer. So the white pads are really designed for finishing more than cutting. And also they'll contour a little better than these. As far as balance, they're both equally well balanced, well made, but just these ones have a softer edge to them. Or not softer edge, sorry, but a softer urethane, making them more suitable for different jobs. Some people, this is the only one they use. Some people, this is the only one they use. In detailing, there's no right or wrong way to do things. There's a lot of different ways, and it comes down to personal preference. What you want to use is what you want to use. So by trying different things, trying different sizes of pads, on a rotary, I like a 6-inch pad. On a DA, I like a 5-inch. So it varies. Thank you, Jen. Yes, they are great quality products. As I was saying, there's no right or wrong way. It's a lot of personal preference. So if you have the opportunity to try one of these, compare it to one of these, you'll find out which one you prefer. And do you prefer a 5-inch, a 3-inch, a 6-inch, or a 7-inch pad? That's, again, up to you. There's nobody that can tell you this is the only way to detail. There's no only way. There's a lot of really good ways of getting the finish that you and your customer want to achieve. Whether it be with a dual action machine, whether it be with a rotary, whether it be with wool pads, microfiber, or foam. There's a lot of different ways of getting the same results. And that end result is what we're after. How we get to that end result is up to us. We're back again. And having a few technical difficulties this evening with connections, but we're working through it. Thank you, everyone, for your patience. And by the way, these live sessions that I do every week on Thursday at 7 Eastern Standard Time are available on YouTube, and they're available on the Lake Country Manufacturing page. And next week's topic is microfiber pads. Microfiber pads, as far as pads go, they're one of the newest technologies. And it's a technology that has a lot of promise to it. It's a technology that's changed and that's evolved rapidly over the last 4 or 5 years. And they're great tools. Some people love them, some people don't. And like I mentioned before, there's no real right or wrong in how you detail. As long as you're not damaging anything, and as long as you're keeping yourself safe, keeping the paint safe, or keeping your customers' belongings safe, there's no, microfiber pad over a wool pad, that's great. If you prefer wool over microfiber pad, we have you covered either way, and foam as well. So there's a lot of technology in microfiber pads, and that technology is continually evolving, continually improving. So that's one of the nice things about Lake Country. We manufacture everything we sell. The pads are manufactured in-house, either in our Ohio or Wisconsin plants, and we have total control over them. So, but again, you want to give different sizes of pads a try. You want to give different materials a try, and if you have a rotary or a DA, we have you covered as well. So this is for the Porta-Cable style dual action machines. We'll put it that way. Porta-Cable, there's a lot of other ones that have a thread-on adapter. That's what these are for. Now, I'll tease once again our friend the Udos. There we go. So the Udos backing plate, as I showed before, but if you're just joining us, has these NACA ducts. The NACA ducts actually force air into the backing plate and out through these holes. And that air keeps the cool. The cooler we can keep our pad, the longer they're going to last, the better they're going to perform, and the less they're going to degrade over time as well. So they're going to last longer. You're going to be able to polish longer with the same pad, because foam, as it warms up, changes its structure a little bit. So by having the pad staying cool, it will maintain that fresh new pad feel a lot longer. Other than that, the Udos will be available as soon as we can get it to you. Again, because of the COVID-19 pandemic, being from globally sourced parts, unfortunately, the parts, some parts are not quite available yet. So we're working on that and working through that. I'd like to thank everybody that joined in. If you have any additional questions, you can leave them on our YouTube page, or you can leave them on this page. I'll go back and answer questions as well. And I keep an eye on these, and I get notified when there are replies or questions. So I'll be able to keep with this. Next week, we'll be talking about microfiber pads. And thank you for watching. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. It's lakecountry.mfg.com, lcpowertools.com, and we're here for you. Thanks a lot. Have a great evening.